presence. What is vibing? This is Vish. And today I'll be talking to you all about, hold on, let's get this adjusted. Okay. I'll be talking to you all about the difference between liberation and enlightenment. Now, I do want to preface this and say that I am not enlightened, nor am I liberated. And so then you might wonder, who am I to talk about these topics? Well, part of this series, really the whole point of this series is two main things. One is to express the level of awareness and new growth in awareness or consciousness that has occurred in the journey. And two, to help hopefully connect these pops, as I like to call them, with you all. And maybe it's something you can connect with, and it'll be something that will help you grow as well. So that is the whole point. I do want to, again, just preface this by saying that I'm no professional spiritual teacher, if that's even a thing. And I don't even know if that's, that's where it'll go back to the whole I don't know that I've learned from Sadhguru, right? Like, who's authorized to be a spiritual teacher and who is not? Am I a guru? No. By the way, Sadhguru. Okay. I was trying to work on pronouncing the name right. But the point is, definitely not a guru. Definitely not a yogi as well. If you've noticed, the title is Yogi Vish Reacts, and it's really just to hopefully capture the attention from you. And I do note in the description that I'm an aspiring yogi, and it's just, again, just for the whole title, clickbaity aspect. But the whole point is really prefacing this by just saying that I am not someone you should completely listen to. So if you find that what I'm about to share is not going to be helpful because of the limited experiences that I've had, then that's okay. You don't have to listen. You can click away. Totally okay. Really just, again, trying to share this with people that have similar levels of awareness, or maybe if you have higher levels of consciousness, then please comment down below and correct me if I'm wrong. But for those of you that are maybe, let's say, lower or not as deep, I don't like to say higher or lower, it's maybe not as deepened with the level of awareness or consciousness, then hopefully this will help you as a signpost. Because again, I can't directly make you experience consciousness or awareness, but I can help guide as, as Eckhart Tolle beautifully says, with signposts. So with that being said, let's move on straight into the exact topic, which is, what is the difference between being liberated and enlightened? And are they the same thing? I definitely, as I've come across the two words, used to definitely associate them as the same, right? So when you're enlightened, you're also liberated, or liberation. Moksha. Is that the right term? I think it's the right term. There's moksha, there's nirvana from Buddhism. Again, could be wrong, but this is what I recall. There's the, entering, I guess, of the kingdom of heaven, as Jesus Christ would beautifully say. This, I don't know if this is liberation, to be fully honest. This could be enlightenment. So I'll get into the exact difference. But let's honestly, and I do want to appreciate you all for being patient through this whole process of these videos. And, I'm still learning, and it's a very, new kind of series and process. And long story short, I do want to appreciate you all. So because of that, I will get straight into the exact answer of the question. So as I've realized, enlightenment is, again, I can be wrong, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Enlightenment is true presence. It's really nothing special. It's nothing that necessarily dictates or depicts or illustrates or portrays a sense of even achievement per se, because as I've realized, enlightenment is the core beingness of all of us. And we're essentially, if this is the right word or appropriate word, we're disenlightened. We become de-enlightened, if that even makes sense. that would imply that we were enlightened at one point, so maybe that's not exactly where we're trying to go, but the point is really just the thoughts that we have, the feelings that we have, really just any sort of fog that arises, primarily thoughts and feelings. At least that's what I've realized with regards to enlightenment. Any sort of attachment to any of these things is really what causes a sense of egoic mind activity. And the egoic mind activity, as I like to describe it, is like a fog in the mind or in the system. That fog is what clogs up the system, and it's really just the defogging, as I like to put it, or the unclogging of the system. Clarity, presence. I mean, when you completely are clear, you're tapping into presence. That is enlightenment. And it's, again, nothing crazy. It's nothing beyond exceptional. I mean, the way society has made it seem, again, as I've learned, and I'm making this clear, I'm not enlightened yet, or I'm not enlightened in this moment, is what I'm really trying to say. So, with that being said, it's as simple as just being present. Maybe we've had glimpses of enlightenment, because there are definitely many moments where we are present. But true enlightenment, as I've again realized with the level of awareness that I have, is where you're always just present. I'm not going to say this is true completely, but at least based off of what I know, again with the level of awareness, people like Eckhart Tolle are enlightened. Eckhart Tolle is someone who is just clear, fully present. Thoughts and feelings are really just not even there, fogging up the system. You're experiencing reality, or experiencing the human existence, or the human experience, which is really just experiencing this reality, or existential reality, as Sadhguru beautifully says, with complete clarity, with no fog. That is enlightenment. That's it. It's super simple. And it's a beautiful, beautiful place to be in, again, as I've learned from guidance. And you will definitely develop a lot of, inner peace within that. So it's just a natural state, because really just any sort of agitation, anxiety, depression, sadness, anger, all these emotions really are just the result of you not being present. And the reason you're not present is because there's a space that's formed between what is, which is what is in this present moment, and what isn't. And what isn't are really just your thoughts around the situation, or around this present moment of what it really is. So you're here, but this is reality. And so wherever this is that you are, you're just not here. So when you're here, or present, that is enlightenment. That's really the general gist of enlightenment. And now liberation. You see, liberation, it's a beautiful thing. Again, I could be wrong, so I want to make that clear. But as I've learned from Sadhguru about Gautama Siddhartha, or the Buddha, as you all definitely know him, apparently even after he was enlightened, he had this amazing, somehow, self-scanning of his past lives, and he was able to literally trace himself back to the amoeba. So he basically discovered evolution before Darwin did, in a way. Talking, at least a few hundred, if not a few thousand years before Darwin. Pretty sure it was in the thousands. But the point is, he was able to discover this. I mean, what science, is known as, through self-realization. And it's very possible. Experiential processy, if you want to call it that. Apparently, even after being enlightened and him going through this whole reflection, or walking through his past lives, he noticed that he was still attached to a certain extent to these lives, and he wanted to really just let go of that. So he was fully present in a way, but there was a deeper sense. So there's as I learned from Sadhguru, there's the Sadhguru. Hopefully, all right, I'm gonna work on that. There's a body, mind, emotions, energy. Right? So as I've realized, the body, mind, emotions, and maybe energy, I'm not too sure, but definitely the three layers where there's no attachment in these three layers, that is enlightenment. But the moment the energy, and again, I could be wrong, but there's definitely, I've heard there's 2 more layers, if you want to call it that, the etheric body and the bliss body and so on. But yeah, okay, I'm just reflecting on what I've learned, because essentially where I'm going at with liberation is, it's karma. Karma is action, as I've learned from Sadhguru. It can also be, in a way, viewed as baggage that's carried, or memory, as he beautifully says. I mean, each action you perform will essentially glue itself onto you as memory. So that's the karma, right? The karmic baggage. And so, just making sure this is fully recording. And so okay. So enlightenment is really just clarity at the levels of body, mind, emotions. But at the level of energy, which is that deeper, you can call it chakras and so on, karma operates at all four levels, you see? So the point is, when the energy, and again, it could be the energy or it could be the other 2 etheric and bliss bodies but as I've learned from him, there is no karma in those 2 bodies. So I'm not too exactly sure where, how this fits. But the point I'm making is there's a certain dimension, right, beyond the body, mind, and emotions, at least, where there's still karmic baggage inside you, and that'll still be present in a way after you're enlightened. Again, this is what I've learned, so I could be wrong. So when you were able to let go of that, and let go of all of that karma, then you are liberated. You essentially are able to end the cycle of birth and rebirth and so on, if you want to call it that too. That is liberation. Liberation is the ultimate freedom. Enlightenment is the present freedom, or it's the freedom where you're still able to live in the material world. Apparently, if you're liberated, as again I've learned from Sadhguru, it's actually really hard to even stay in this physical body because you're completely liberated. But then there are ways to trick karma, as he says, and I've learned this from the book, the Karma book, to fully be, not fully be, but somehow trick karma to allowing you to be present in the physical form, at least. So, long story short, appreciate your patience and presence, more importantly. Enlightenment is a beautiful thing and helps us be here. Liberation is an even, quote unquote, deeper or greater thing. And that's it. It's as simple as that. So hopefully that helped shed some clarity. If it was a little confusing, that's totally understandable. Comment down below what you've learned from this or what you know. And if there's anything I said wrong, please comment that down. I mean, I'm open to learning together. So with that, make it a great day. Take it joyfully. Presence. And also, if you have any other video topic requests, also comment that down below. And stay conscious. Ecstasy.